So we have discussed about so many facts related to formation of energy within the cell, that is cellular respiration. We also have seen various high energy compounds as well as enzymes and hormones that have their role in this particular cellular respiration process. Now let us start our discussion with glycolysis, which is the most important and basic pathway in this. So glycolysis is also referred as Embden-Meyerhof pathway. It was earlier discovered by the scientist, that is Embden-Meyerhof and Parnas together in year 1940. So this is the main pathway which is responsible for the breakdown of glucose, and from where the important steps starts. This is purely a catabolic pathway, because you can call it to be a catabolic type process in which the breakdown of glucose used to take place, and it will be resulted into the formation of pyruvic acid. So by this process we could say that there are three prime steps in this process, and that are destabilization of glucose, and second one is the breakdown of glucose into 3 carbon sugars. Breakdown of glucose into 3 carbon sugars, that are glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. We will see that in the pathway. And the third thing is that formation of pyruvic acid, which is most important. And I already told you that this is a catabolic pathway, since the breakdown of glucose is taking place. So I already told you that this pathway is common to both, that is anaerobic and aerobic respiration. So we can find it in bacteria and all those organisms which are unicellular, as well as in the eukaryotic type cells, that is the animals and plants that are very much evolved. So in all, glycolysis is common, and from there I will proceed with particular steps that are there in this process. And the glycolysis starts from glucose. Glucose is the prime source of energy, so it starts from that, how the glucose get destabilized, and after that the step by step the process of breakdown and oxidation of glucose used to take place. So let us write the steps of this particular pathway. Glucose need to be destabilized by the addition of phosphate, and which enzyme will work for this? Hexokinase. Kinase, I told you, used to help in the transfer of group or any functional group like that of phosphate. So hexokinase is the prime enzyme for it. Hexokinase. And for this reason energy is required, since we want to make a bond, we want to add phosphate to that of glucose, energy is required. So ATP gets break down into ADP, and what happened, that glucose 6-phosphate is formed. By this glucose 6-phosphate is formed, and further we can write that glucose 6-phosphate gets converted into fructose 6-phosphate. And which enzyme will help in this process? We need to write that name, and that is phosphofructoisomerase. So this enzyme belongs to the class of isomerase. I already told you the classes of enzymes, and this one kinase enzyme is a transferase enzyme. I already told you this thing also. So these are the types of enzyme which used to involve, and isomerase used to help in the formation of isomer. Since glucose and fructose are the two isomers, we can see the structure also, as we can make the structure of glucose. So it will be like this. This is the first position, this will be the sixth position. So here we can add phosphate, and actually I am adding phosphate because hydroxyl group will get replaced by the phosphate group, means PO4 3 minus will replace the hydroxyl group, and by this we can substitute P. But what P is representing? P is actually representing PO3 minus, PO3 2 minus, or we can write it like this. So this is the group which I am showing by writing P only. So it is easier to understand, and if you want to understand that in open chain form, we can write it like so. This is the open chain form, and since the sixth position is there, I already have made the glucose molecule. In that I have substituted P, that is phosphate, at the sixth position for showing this molecule, and here I am showing that in open chain form. So if you want to show that in open chain form, we need to start the numbering from here, because the counting will start from the functional group which has higher priority, that is aldehyde group. So from there counting will start 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is the sixth position. So we can substitute likewise P over here. So this is glucose 6-phosphate. So we can see both the structures, but since I am telling you that this is the isomer, so fructose is the isomer of glucose, means both have the same formula, but the arrangement is different, and the functional group that are being added are different. So we can see the structure side by side. So this is the structure of fructose. And here we can see that on the sixth position phosphate will come. So we can write likewise here. So these are the two forms, and the most important thing which we should write over here is that the convertibility of the two molecules will be there on this step. So we can write the arrow over here also. But at this point that thing cannot be shown, because ATP is getting utilized and ADP is formed, means the ATP is utilized, that is energy is being taken in order to convert from glucose form to that of glucose 6-phosphate. So stable form is getting converted into unstable form in order to make it active. Now later from this step, the formation of other compound, that is fructose 6-phosphate, that is an isomer of glucose 6-phosphate, depends on the thermodynamic feasibility. It depends on the thermodynamic feasibility, then only this step will form. So that's why we need to put arrow like this in order to represent that thing. Now we will see that both the steps can be represented in this form, and you can also represent in ring form. How? This is also the fructose molecule and we can substitute it over here. So likewise we can represent the fructose. I already told you this is furan ring and this is pyran ring. If you want to understand that thing, that terminology which is used for representing that in cyclic form, this one is furan, this one is pyran. Now in this form we can see that fructose molecule, that is fructose 6-phosphate can be represented in both the forms, that is like this and in this form also. Likewise glucose 6-phosphate can be represented in both the forms. So it is now clear that how the representation of the molecules can be done, and it is necessary in order to grasp the facts, because if you understand the structure then it will be easier to go with the pathway and understand how the next step will come. So the next step will be fructose 1,6-diphosphate, and here also energy is utilized, means ATP will get converted into ADP. So what is the reason why energy is utilized? We can understand it by the structure only. How? Because fructose 6-phosphate means 2 phosphate molecules are there in the structure of fructose. So already 1 phosphate molecule is present in the structure of fructose, means 1 phosphate is already there in the structure of fructose. But since you want to add 1 more phosphate molecule, we require to expense the energy, we require to utilize the energy, and for that reason ATP is getting converted into ADP. And also I want to tell you one important thing, that this is a rate limiting step. So I am writing over here that this is the rate limiting step. Here also we can represent it like this, that is from the thermodynamic feasibility the second step may come, but this is rate limiting step. Why I am calling it rate limiting step? Because it may limit the rate, means if this step is slow, the entire process will be slow. So the pace of the entire process, or you can say the rate of proceeding with entire process, will depend on this step. So it is important to know that this is one is a rate limiting step. And which will be the enzyme which involved for this step? Let me write the name: phosphofructokinase. Phosphofructokinase, because kinase enzyme is responsible for the transfer of phosphate group from ATP to that of fructose molecule at the first position, because sixth position is already occupied with fructose. If we want to represent this molecule, that is fructose 1,6-diphosphate, we need to add one more molecule of phosphate over here, that is PO3. I am representing this one as P. So P is being added up at this position, that is at the first position in that fructose. So it will have the 2 phosphate groups at the 6th position also and at the first position also. So its name will become fructose 1,6-diphosphate. Likewise you can represent the phosphate group over here also in this molecule. So we need to add phosphate over here. So this is the first position and this is the 6th position. At both the positions phosphate is present. So it is the representation of fructose 1,6-5-phosphate molecule. And I already told you that both are isomers, means both have same formula. If you write the formula of glucose and fructose, both are same, that is C6H12O6. That formula is common for glucose as well as for fructose. That's why, since the arrangement is different and the functional groups are coming that are also different, that's why glucose 6-phosphate and fructose 6-phosphate, I already told you, are the isomers. But here what happened, that extra phosphate is getting added up, so that's why energy is utilized in this step. So in these 2 steps energy is getting utilized, that is ATP is getting converted into ADP. So let us see what will be the next step. Next step will be another molecule, that is 3-carbon sugar, because after having instability quite high, it will get break down into 3-carbon sugar, which is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde or it may also called as glyceraldehyde, 3-phosphate, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and it is interchangeable in another form which is also a 3-carbon sugar, and that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So both are interchangeable, and the main thing is that the two particular molecules are the isomers, and which enzyme will work for this conversion, that is triose phosphate isomerase. As I already told you, one class of enzyme is isomerase. You can see this is also of the same class, and here this is also a triose phosphate isomerase enzyme which belongs to isomerase class. But the interconversion is going on, and by that we need to represent the molecules which are coming after that step, that is in 2 moles, or you can say 2 molecules will be generated at each step by the conversion. So further we can make, but firstly we need to make the structure, then we will go further. And here also the step can be shown in this form, that depends on the thermodynamic feasibility. And another thing is that we need to write the enzyme also, which enzyme is responsible for the conversion of this step, that is fructose 1,6-diphosphate, to this step, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, or that of dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So that enzyme is aldolase. Aldolase is in the class of lyases. I told you the class of enzyme, that is lyases. There the breakdown is taken place, but by the breakdown of the bond also somewhere double bond used to form in the molecule. So that's why this enzyme is also important, and here water is not utilized. So this is aldolase enzyme which is responsible for the breakdown of fructose 1,6-diphosphate into 3 carbon molecules, and that are 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and that of dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which used to form to be interconvertible state, and that enzyme is responsible for interconversion is triose phosphate isomerase. So we can see that interconversion between the 3 carbon sugars, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, is possible with the presence of this enzyme, that is triose phosphate isomerase. Also we can see that fructose 1,6-diphosphate get converted into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde or that of dihydroxyacetone phosphate by the involvement of aldolase, which is a lyase enzyme. So we can also represent it like this, that interconversion between these two is also possible with the help of aldolase. Here also aldolase will involve, and this interconversion is going on between the basic sugars. So this is already we have seen, and there are something which is important to know, that some additional information is there which we should make it out in this pathway, that is hexokinase may also be called as glucokinase, since hexose sugars are glucose and fructose. General hexose sugars are glucose and that of fructose. So we can also write it as glucokinase. So just I am writing that on this side. This is hexokinase or glucokinase. The glucokinase name is given because glucose is a hexose sugar. So this is important to know. And the conversion of ATP is going on into ADP, and that phosphate group, whatever it detached from here, gets attached to that of glucose and forming glucose 6-phosphate. But again, the formation of glucose is also possible from this step by the involvement of glucose 6-phosphatase. glucose 6 phosphatase. That is, it used to cleave the phosphate group from the glucose. So again glucose can be formed by the detachment of phosphate. So this can be possible. Although earlier I told you this fact that from glucose 6 phosphate is getting formed and it is thermodynamically feasible. Why? Because ATP is getting converted into ADP, means the energy is getting utilized for bringing this stage and the destabilization of glucose is occurring over here. But the thing is that from this it is possible that glucose 6 phosphate can be converted into glucose and with the involvement of glucose 6 phosphatase enzyme. Likewise, we can see on this step phosphofructoisomerase, which I have written, can have other name. How? Because fructose is also known as hexose sugar, so we can write it as phosphohexose isomerase. Phosphohexose isomerase, or we can also call it as phosphoglucoisomerase, which is most common because most of the times we used to call the hexose sugar as glucose. That's why the most common name is phosphogluco or glucose isomerase. So this can be the name of particular enzyme which used to cause the isomerization of glucose 6 phosphate into fructose 6 phosphate, or you can say which causes the isomerization between glucose 6 phosphate and fructose 6 phosphate. So we can also represent this line like this. This arrow can also be represented like this, but this is the same because it is also showing the reversible step and it is also showing the same thing. So you can also represent it like this. Now the other thing which we need to know is that on this step, which I told you as a rate limiting step, this enzyme used to cause the conversion of fructose 6 phosphate into fructose 1,6 diphosphate. But the other thing is also possible, that is the conversion of fructose 1,6 diphosphate into fructose 6 phosphate. And how it is possible? It is possible by the involvement of an enzyme that I am writing over here. Phosphofructokinase. And since this enzyme is representing the conversion of fructose 6 phosphate into fructose 1,6 diphosphate, because kinase is getting involved, so what happened? The phosphate group from ATP will get detached and ADP will be formed, and this detached group will get attached to the fructose on the first position, so it will become fructose 1,6 diphosphate. So this thing is there, and for the interconversion or for the convertibility of fructose 1,6 diphosphate into fructose 6 diphosphate, we require another enzyme, and that is fructose. You can also call it as bis. So fructose bis phosphatase. Phosphatase means the enzyme which used to cleave phosphate group from an organic molecule. So it used to cleave the phosphate group from an organic molecule. So we can also write this by other name, that is fructose. I am writing the name in another way, that is fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Because somewhere you may find this name also for this particular step or for this particular compound, that fructose 1,6 bisphosphate and fructose 1,6 diphosphate, both are same, but we can write it in both the ways. So you should know this thing. Now we can see that from glucose the convertibility will be there, that is destabilization of glucose occur within the first step, that is glucose 6 phosphate will be formed. After glucose 6 phosphate, fructose 6 phosphate will be formed, and that is with the involvement of phosphohexose isomerase. As I have told that either of the two can be written, that is it is the same name of the enzyme. now fructose 6-phosphate will be formed, and after that fructose 1,6-diphosphate will be formed, and later on from this, with the involvement of aldose enzyme, which is a lyase enzyme, the 3 carbon sugars are formed. One additional thing I want to tell you, that is, in case the enzymes are working, there may be an involvement of cofactor. As I already told you that cofactors and coenzymes are often required for the activity of enzyme. So cofactor can be a metal ion also. So magnesium is usually found to be involved for the action of kinases like enzymes, kinases, mutase. In that, magnesium often used to involve as cofactor. So we can also write magnesium ion over here. That is, magnesium ion will be involved for the activity of hexokinase. Likewise, it may involve here also. So you may see that magnesium ion can be involved. And likewise, the other thing which is important in this context is that in this step, that is hexokinase enzyme activity is inhibited by the higher concentration of the product, that is glucose 6-phosphate, due to the allosteric reasons. Because hexokinase also shows the allosteric enzyme activity, we know that. And likewise, in this step, that is in the formation of fructose 1,6-diphosphate, what happened, that higher concentration of ATP used to inhibit the allosteric activity of the enzyme phosphofructokinase. That's why this step is rate limiting, because of the allosteric reasons. As we know that in case of allosteric enzyme, the substrate binding site will get changed due to the change in conformation of the molecule, or you can say conformation of the subunit by the binding of other molecule at another subunit of the enzyme molecule. So this is the reason, and this is the rate limiting step. We should remember this thing. Now I would like to tell one more thing, that at this step, that is glucose 6-phosphate, we can show that in case the energy is required, the glycogen can be broken down, and in that case glycogen will get first converted into glucose 1-phosphate, and then after it will get converted into glucose 6-phosphate. We can show it here also, that when energy is required, glycogen, which is the stored form of or the storage form of carbohydrate, will get broken down into glucose 1-phosphate, which will further get converted into glucose 6-phosphate. So by that, what happened, that this will form glucose also, or it may directly move to the further steps of metabolism, that is aerobic cycle, and it will give the energy. That is, it may get converted into glucose, or it may be diverted towards the aerobic pathway, and then after energy can be obtained. So this is also possible, and that's why this is evident from here. Now we will also see the other fact which is associated here, that is glucose 6-phosphatase will liberate the phosphate from here. If it will act over here, that is glucose 6-phosphate, it will get converted into glucose, and S3PO4 in the form of, you can say, phosphate or phosphoric acid form, the phosphate will get liberated. Likewise here also, that is fructose bisphosphatase also liberate the phosphate, whatever is there in fructose 1,6-diphosphate, 1-phosphate will get liberated by the action of phosphatase enzyme. We can here also write S3PO4 likewise. So it can also be shown in the cycle, and now we will write the formula of that. We will see the structure of these two carbon sugars. So this one is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. So how we will make the structure? Since this is the third position, from here we need to start the numbering, because the priority group is this one, that is aldehyde group. So 1, 2, 3. So at this position phosphate will be attached, and its name will be 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. glyceraldehyde, or you can also write it as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate or glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So in both ways we can write the name. Likewise, the next carbon sugar, which is the second one, is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So we may write this one as in the form of structure dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Since the ketonic group is there at the second position, so you may attach the phosphate here or here. So it is just depend on you. But in both the cases, the molecule will be same, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So this is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. We already have seen. But now we will move further, that is we will see how the oxidation of this one, that is the 3 carbon sugars, used to take place, particularly 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. So we need to rub it down first and then write the further steps. Firstly, we need to write the 3 carbon sugar over here, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate, that is written over here, that is on the downside. So we are starting from the 3 carbon sugars whatever we have obtained here, and these are glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and we already have seen the enzyme is triose phosphate isomerase. Now glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will form 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. We can also call it as 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, and the thing is that interconversion will be shown because this is also a reversible step, and the enzyme which is responsible for this conversion is that glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. So what work this enzyme is performing? This is dehydrogenase. So it is performing oxidation, means the oxidation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to convert it into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. How it is doing? Because this is dehydrogenase enzyme, so it usually results in the loss of hydrogen, that is separation of hydrogen from this particular compound. And here one thing more is required, that is inorganic phosphate is required, S3PO4. It will be required. Why? Because this addition of phosphate will make it 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, and particularly we need to see the structure also, the structure of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. So glyceric acid has having this structure. This is glyceric acid. Now if we want to make 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, how we will make it? this is the first position because carboxyl group is here. It will have the priority. So this is the first position, this is second, this is third. So how we will write? This will become COP. P is representing what? PO3. I already told you we are representing P as PO3, that is phosphate group, and 2 minus charge will be there on this. So we can write it. Now at the third position also phosphate will get attached, so it will become 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. We can call it as 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. You can also call it as 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid because 2 phosphate are there in the glyceric acid, and you can see the structure, and it is very easy to make and understand. And the second thing which I want to tell you is that at this position NADH will be synthesized. How? NAD plus will get changed into NADH, and likewise NADH plus H plus. So the reduction of NAD plus will occur, and this oxidized form will get changed into, I already told you, this is the oxidized form of coenzyme NAD. So NAD plus will change into NADH plus H plus, and it will go to electron transport system for generating energy. So likewise in the steps where NADH will be formed, it will go there to electron transport system. Their energy will be obtained from this because it will donate electron there. So it is just serving as electron acceptor, and it is also accepting the proton, and by that it can transfer it. Now from this step, what will be the next step that will come? So the next will be 3-phosphoglyceric acid. You can also write it as glycerate because both are same. I already told you, but when you are writing acid, H will be attached. In case you are writing glycerate, you need to put charge. So that thing is there, and since 3-phosphoglyceric acid is formed, thereby ATP will be synthesized. So you can write over here like the ADP will get changed to ATP. And from where the phosphate is coming? Phosphate is coming from this, because the phosphate which is located at first position will be given to that of ADP, and thereby ATP is synthesized. So what enzyme is required for this particular transfer? The enzyme is kinase enzyme. So we need to write the name also. The name will be phosphoglyceric acid kinase. I already told you kinase enzyme is a transferase enzyme. It used to transfer the functional group or phosphate. Here the transfer of phosphate is going on, and it will get transferred to this, that is ATP is formed from ADP, and we need to make the structure also. So what will be the structure of this one? That is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So this is the third position. So this is 3-phosphoglyceric acid because phosphate is attached to this position. I already told you that hydroxyl group will get substituted with the phosphate, but for convenience we are writing phosphate as PO3 2 minus, but it is actually PO4 3 minus. But what is happening, that it is get substituted at the position of hydroxyl group, and thereby phosphate form of the organic molecule is getting formed. So we are showing this. Now what will be the next step from this, which will come further? So this is 2-phosphoglyceric acid. Now one interesting thing is there at this step, that is the position is getting changed. That is the position of functional group is getting changed. that the phosphate at the third position is shifting to the second position. So which enzyme will play its role? The enzyme will be phosphoglycerate mutase. Mutase is the enzyme. Mutase is a enzyme which is just responsible for the transfer of group from the third to the second position. Means if you will look on this molecule, what happened? This is the third position. From the third position it will get transferred to the second position. So how we will make this compound? It will be like this. So this is 2-phosphoglyceric acid. So it is already clear that 2-phosphoglyceric acid will be formed from the 3-phosphoglyceric acid with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate mutase. Mutase means it is causing mutation. By this you can remember. Mutation of what? Mutation means change of position of the functional group, that is phosphate, from the third position to the second position. So we need to remember that, and also its structure is very easy and you can remember it easily. Now what will be the next step which will come further after this? The next one will be phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate will be formed from the 2-phosphoglyceric acid with the help of enzyme enolase. Enolase is a lyase enzyme. If you want to remember it, others are transferase like kinase, but dehydrogenase is the oxidoreductase. I already told you about enzymes, but enolase is a lyase enzyme, means it used to promote cleavage of the bond, and thereby some double bond will be formed at other position. If we will look the structure of this one, we will have an idea. So enolase will work, and this is a lyase enzyme. So how we will write the structure of phosphoenol pyruvate? Its structure will be like this. So this is the structure of phosphoenol pyruvate. Actually, if you will look the structure, if you are making like this, this group is called enol group, or this form of the structure is called enol. That's why its name is phosphoenol pyruvate, because in enol framework carbon is one side attached to the hydroxyl group and on the other side carbon is attached to the alkyl group by the double bonds. So what happened? This is enol group, and that's why the name is phosphoenol pyruvate, and this enzyme is there. And which other thing is required for this? The liberation of water. Water will be liberated out at this step. H2O will be liberated out from the 2-phosphoglyceric acid and phosphoenol pyruvate will be formed. But it is also an unstable state, and further I already told you that the formation of the next step depends on the thermodynamic feasibility. That's an important factor, that the thermodynamic feasibility used to promote the transformation of such steps. So here you can look that phosphoenol pyruvate will again get converted into the compound which is stable than that, and that is pyruvic acid or pyruvate. This is somewhat stable than that and it will be formed. So on the cleavage of the bond, what happened? The energy will be transferred to that of ADP molecule and ATP will be synthesized, that is formation of phosphate bond will occur and the phosphate group will be transferred to that of ADP. So we need to show it like this, that is ADP will be changed to ATP, and the enzyme which used to play its role is pyruvic acid kinase. Pyruvic acid kinase, the enzyme which has its role in this conversion is pyruvic acid kinase, because kinase is required for the transfer of phosphate group from the organic compound, that is phosphonyl pyruvate, to ADP. So by this ATP will be obtained, so energy will be synthesized here also. But one thing I want to tell you, that from this step, if you will look this step, what happened? The interconversion is going on, that is the reversible reaction is going on with the help of triose phosphate isomerase. So if you just consider these molecules to be in this state, one molecule of this, or either this one or this one, will result into all these conversions. So we need to write 2, because one is getting converted, another will also form the same thing. But here the prime compound is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So we need to write 2 at the each step. That is 2 molecules or 2 moles of this will be generated, again 2 moles of this, 2 moles of this, and 2 moles of this. So likewise twice of the energy will also be generated at each step. So you can write 2 at these places also in order to signify the change. That is 2 ATP will be formed from 2 ADP. And if you will look that here 2 ATP is formed, that here 2 ATP is getting formed, here also 2 ATP is getting formed, we have 4 ATP. But if you will have the remembrance of the earlier steps where we have 2 ADP is formed from ATP, so that is the loss, and in this 1 NAD is equivalent, or 1 NADH is equivalent to 3 ATP. So if we consider 2 NAD, then 6 ATP will be formed here. So 10 ATP will be formed in total. You can write 2 here also. So by this we will have an idea about the pathway, and we can collectively write the entire pathway just in the form of cascade to understand that where the energy conversion is occurring and where the other changes are going on within the pathway, or any input required or something is coming out like water, so that you can have an overall idea of the pathway like glycolysis, which is the basic pathway in metabolism. So I need to rub it down, so further I will write the entire step together, so that you will have an idea about it. And the thing is that we also need to see the structure of the last step, that is pyruvic acid, and how we will make the structure of pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid is like this. So this is the structure of pyruvic acid. And one thing more is there, that is enolase also requires magnesium ion as cofactor for its activity. As you have seen that kinases require magnesium ion, likewise enolase also requires magnesium ions for its activity. So generally kinases, all sort of kinases that you have seen in glycolysis used magnesium ions as cofactor. So magnesium ions are required for the activity of kinases. And if you will see the activity of dehydrogenases, these require magnesium as well as manganese ions. For their activity, and likewise different cofactors are required for different enzymes which used to work in metabolic pathways. So we need to rub it down, then after we will see the entire steps together in order to have an understanding about the entire framework of glycolysis.